has been developed by state and provincial agencies in association with the Agency for Instructional Television. Together, serving education.
Page 12, two plane, VTR roll-in, right on the top. In fact, we roll on the previous. So that's back to you, Wendy. We're going to do a quick test. Because we don't even change cameras on this because the stories are linked. So,
The world is a fairly complicated place. No one knows this better than the women and men who report the news.
Okay, cameras, you're clear.
They must take a whole day's worth of activity and squeeze it into a newspaper that may be only a few pages, or into a short television broadcast. Obviously, they have to be very efficient. Some of the efficiency is created here. This is where they design the graphics for the news.
Right now I'm getting this graph ready for the 6 o'clock show. A lot of what we do is this type of stuff. We put information into graphic form. It makes complicated information easier to understand. You know, graphs are used everywhere, not just on TV, but also in newspapers and magazines. The ones on TV tend to be a little bit simpler, though, because you don't have much time to study them when they're on the screen. But the ones in print, which are the more complex ones, still get to the point really fast. The graph I'm working on now is supposed to show the increasing number of people who are staying in school and getting their diploma. It will appear just above and to the left of Bob Acosta. He's the reporter that's doing the story.
Education officials pointed with some pride today to the results of a recent survey that indicated a continuing rise in the number of people graduating from high school. Nearly 78% of all adults polled have high school diplomas, in comparison to only 40% 20 years ago. The steady increase is supported by statistics from the Labor
Graphs.
Department that show most...
Have you ever heard the saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words? That's what a graph is. It's a picture of sorts that can very often be worth a lot of words when you're trying to communicate information.
See? There's your problem right there. Looks like that number 3 plug must be fouled. Pull that plug and check it. Okay.
Watch these calls.
Hello? Oh, hi. I was... Blanca, slow down. What now?
I don't know what to do. Nobody's at home. I tried to call my dad at the restaurant, but the phone's busy or off the hook.
Don't tell me. You've had your driver's license for only 3 weeks, and you've dented up your dad's car.
No, it's worse than that. I hit some little kid. He came out of nowhere. I didn't even see him. I think I killed him.
Look, keep trying to get your dad. I'll come right over. Where are you?
Is the kid gonna die?
He's not gonna die. Everybody's told you that. It looks like a broken collarbone, that's all.
That's all? Isn't that enough?
Look, it wasn't your fault. The police told you it wasn't your fault. When they talked to your dad on the phone, they told him it wasn't your fault. They told me it wasn't your fault. Even the kid's sister said it wasn't your fault.
I just feel... I don't know. I feel like I should do something. I can't just say, oh, goody, it wasn't my fault and forget it.
There's nothing you can do about it. As long as the park is on that side of the street and the kids live on that side of the street, there's gonna be a problem.
Why don't they put a stop sign or a traffic light or something?
The police say that a traffic light has been scheduled, but for the past 5 years, the city council has cut it out of the budget to save money. They don't think it's that important.
Well, they didn't almost kill a kid like I just did.
Like I said, there's nothing you can do about it.
You did what?
I signed up to address City Council at their next meeting.
You know your dad, the man who owns this restaurant, prides himself in his standing in this community. And he's not gonna like it, you getting up in front of the city council and making a fool of yourself.
Oh, I'm not going to make a fool of myself. Besides, any citizen of this city has the right to speak before the city council. I'm a citizen.
So what are you gonna say to the city council?
I'm going to tell them they ought to have a traffic light there.
Yeah, that ought to impress them.
Paul, the kid I hit, well, he lives out on a farm. He was visiting friends. And they told me to have a lot of close calls along that street.
So how many's a lot? 2 or 3 a week? 2 or 3 a month?
Look, give me a break, okay? I'm trying to do something. Everybody says, oh, Blanca, you can't do anything. But I'm trying to do something.
You're really serious about this?
Yes.
Even though you weren't to blame for the accident?
What is it with everybody? Who's at fault? Who's to blame? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about trying to keep some other little kid from ending up like Paul.
All right, but you're talking to the city council. You're not talking to your friends down at the Dairy Freeze. And you can't go running in there saying, we need a light. You have to be more convincing than that. Maybe you ought to do a little research so you can back up what you say.
Oh, gee, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't think I could put in the time. I have homework, and I'm on the drill team.
Yeah, you're right. Besides, what's one kid more or less? There's a bunch of them around.
Low blow, Tony. I found out a lot of stuff. The park was built 10 years ago. And Clark Street has always been a very busy street. Even 10 years ago, the traffic flow averaged more than 6,000 cars a day.
We not only got a talking plant, we got one that makes it smart, correct?
Okay, now this is where it gets incredible. 5 years ago, Clark Street was widened to allow for more traffic. This was when a new housing development was started across the street from the park itself. Houses mean kids, you get it? The number of kids crossing the street to go to the park really increased at just the same time the traffic skyrocketed. Dynamite stuff, huh? Hey! Hey!
Yeah, dynamite stuff.
Some boyfriend you are. If it works that way on you, you'll probably be the first person to ever put the city council to sleep.
I happen to represent the Society of Silent Flower Observers of Southern California.
How about that?
See, there must be some way to do this. What do I want to say here? Traffic was down here 10 years ago.
And what might your name be?
Then it moved up here 5 years ago.
Krellboy.
Now it's all the way up here.
Well, tell me, Mr. Krellboy, is this a freak, or can more be raised from the sea?
We should live so long, but I don't think there can be any more this time.
Who do I know that's good with graphics?
I think this is going to be the only one, Mrs. Fishtwinger.
Fishtwanger.
Oh, yeah. I bet he'd like to go to the city council meeting.
Well, it's probably indigestible anyway.
Completion of 5 full years of continuous service as of December 1 of any year. Longevity compensation will be paid once per year in December. An eligible employee terminating during the year will receive longevity pay at the time of separation, which pay will be prorated based on his time in service since the prior December 1.
Now you know why they limit these
Maximum
speakers
base
to 5
salary
minutes.
allowable for
What are
longevity
you looking up?
I need a snazzy sounding word. Something to get their attention. Here it is.
Below. Employees' retirement system as provided by law. The district will contribute such sums.
Excuse me. We do have a time limit. Maybe you could submit your statement in writing. The council will now hear from a Miss Blanca Ortiz. So, Miss Ortiz, is this part of a school project?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Now, you just go ahead and don't be nervous.
Thank you. Mayor Grayson, members of the City Council, a week and a half ago, I nearly killed a boy named Paul Noble. I hit him with my father's car. I was driving along Clark Street, near Woodbridge Park.
How badly was the boy hurt?
A broken collarbone. But if he had been killed, I could have been guilty of manslaughter, and you could have been guilty of complicity.
Complicity? That's a pretty strong word. Perhaps you don't know the meaning of it.
It means being a partner or accomplice in wrongdoing.
That's a fairly serious charge, miss.
Well, yes, ma'am, but the facts back it up.
That appears to be rather lengthy. Perhaps you could better...
Well, this won't take long. Now, this graph shows that in the past 10 years, the average daily traffic on Clark Street has increased 5 times over, from at least 6,500 vehicles a day to 30,000 a day.
I see that. But we were talking about complicity.
5 years ago, a traffic light was requested for Clark Street. The City Council cut it from the budget. That traffic light has been cut by the council every year since. Meanwhile, the average number of accidents per week has increased 10 times over, from less than 1 per week to almost 5 per week today. This means that Clark Street has become one of the most dangerous streets in town. And it seems like just a matter of time until somebody gets killed there. And when that happens, every one of you who voted down that traffic light will share in the responsibility.
Call me at your office.
If Blanca had gone to the City Council with just her notebook of facts, well-researched though they were, things might have been different. But Blanca knew that graphs could help her make her point quickly and forcefully. Graphs are really good for that. They can take complicated information and help to make it more understandable.
You there in the back, could we have a little quiet, please, in the chamber?
And then I showed the mayor my second graph, which looked like this.
Oh, yeah. That's the one that was in the newspaper. I thought you said you wanted to autograph my cast.
I will. Just give me time.
Oh, most people write good luck or get well soon, something like that.
Look, Paul. I did a lot of research to come up with the data for this graph. Now, the least you can do is appreciate it.
But why on my cast?
Well, this way, when people ask you why you were so dumb to get run over in the first place, you won't have to go into any long explanations.
See? Just rip off your shirt and show them the graph.
Sort of like Superman, huh?
Sort of like Graph Man.